welcome to Andertons TV. My name is Jack Jacksbury, he's the Maltese Falcon. Whoop. And that was very agricultural boogie-woogie blues piano. And in the following video, I'm going to show you how to play that. It's super simple, super easy. Some ideas about thinking about it. Let's just jump into it. Right, get my phone out because we did a video about learning a lick from a Jules Holland video. And I asked some people out there, if you've seen it, for ideas for lessons. And a nice guy called Hamid Shibata Bennett said some nice words, thank you mate. And then you said, I've been playing since February and I've been learning a lot from you and a few other channels. How about a video on the left side of that blues lick? And therein lies the eternal problem, right? The left hand of piano. And a lifetime of all my friends saying, Jack, what do you do with your left hand? Doesn't matter what gig I do, what I achieve, what are you doing with your left hand? And I would ask you to look, if you ever seen my videos before, and recognize I'm doing very little. And 99% of my life, I've had to do nothing but play octaves and fifths. And maybe, I did a video on it, stretching over. So this is an octave of C. That's a fifth. And then I go over and play a tenth sometimes. That's about all I'm doing, right? Because I'm doing a lot of majory stuff and I mix it up and I've got the sustain pedal down. But boogie-woogie piano, blues licks, you need some rhythm going on. And this is super hard. And I would, if you're shooting for this, understand how hard it is. Hard. This is the easiest way I've found to do it, and it's still going to be really difficult. So don't beat yourself up about it, because I had to do that with myself. When I'm out of, it's a real, you know, one of those things. It's tricky, but let's get going, right? This is the left hand. That's the rhythm we're going to do. I'll tell you the notes. First of all, we've got pinky on C, first finger on G. And when we play them, we get that sound. And we're going to do 2 counts on that. Then we're going to use our thumb, keep our pinky in exactly the same place, our thumb on the A. And we alternate essentially between those 2. And there's a bit of a swing to it. I could try intellectualize how to count this. I have no idea. I would implore you to just mimic it. Listen to some boogie-woogie. You know, you wouldn't just go, oh, I'm going to take up archery and never watch someone shoot a bow. You know, sometimes with piano players, I see them, they're like, oh man, I want to learn this boogie-woogie, and they never listen to boogie-woogie. They got no idea. But what we're going for is that rolling feeling. And you can do it pretty much at any tempo, this one. But we'll stay a bit slower. So that is our 1 chord in the blues, right? And you go around that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the next position we go to in C is F. And we're outlining an F7 chord. So we're going to put our pinky on F, first finger on C, and it's exactly the same pattern again. So 2 beats and then 2 beats with our thumb on the D this time. And in that little gap, that's the hard bit. It's keeping this measure. And when I was getting into boogie-woogie many moons ago, I would just do it with a TV on, or like you know, now you got phones, so you just, you know, go on TikTok or whatever, and just leave that on and just try get. I mean, that's why it's one of those things you've got to keep up, and it's hard for me to get. When people said, "Oh, I'm doing less on the left hand," I'm like, "Oh no, it's the real Achilles heel of mine." It's a thing. You've got to really drill in your left hand, because when you then start putting your right hand with it, you have to forget about this hand. There's no thinking that can take place. I've even asked some of the great boogie-woogie guys, they're not thinking, I just drill this to where it's its own monster. They can do anything. They do the tax return with the right hand whilst this is going off. It's no problem. So we've got that first position. Second. First. And then when we get to the 5 chord, the G, all we do is put our pinky on the G, first finger on the D, thumb hits the E. Back to the F. And the C. Now, whilst we're learning the notes, hopefully they're all the notes, it's that simple. I'll play through a whole 12 bar so you can play along with me, all right? 3, 4. And then we started again. Lilting tempo, probably all over the place. Good to maybe stick a metronome on, but also don't worry about it, because then things get really freaky deaky when we get the right hand. One little thing is that at the end it's pretty boring without what's called a turnaround. If you don't know what that is, it's just a phrase used to describe often a predetermined motif at the end of a 12 bar that sounds a bit more interesting than just going back up to that. So one of the easiest one ever is this, and it's a bit of a side lesson, but we'll do it, right? Is a contrary motion turnaround. Now what on earth is that? Contrary motion, one's going that way, one's going that way. So our left hand's gonna go up and our right hand's gonna go down. And we're both gonna start on these Cs. So first note are 2 Cs, then we've got B flat in the right hand, E in the left hand, and you play them at the same time. 2 hits on each. A in the right hand, F in the left. That one's really hard on the ears, right? But we've got A flat in the right, F sharp in the left, G in unison, so we've come in from either side. And then at the end, for the old school, or in the timing of a turnaround, that's what it sounds like. Horrendously boring, right? We've got to get a right hand in there. Or maybe not. Maybe you're just going to drill that, keep that going. You've got to make it just second nature in your left hand to even start about this. Now, instead of learning to play licks, like in that comment from the nice chap, I would suggest starting with chord voicings in your right hand. And the simplest one to do is just a simple tritone, which is E, and B flat. And then when we get to the 4 chord, all you need to do is move each note down a semitone for the F, which is E flat on your thumb, A on your middle finger, or whatever finger you can do. So it's gonna go. And then when we get up to the G, you're just gonna play F with your thumb and B with your middle finger. Back to the shape we do for F and C. Hope that makes sense. I'm gonna play a rhythm over this left hand, okay? And I could prescribe to you a set rhythm to play, And I think that's the type of thing that you often get in boogie-woogie books, or if guys are traditional boogie-woogie teachers. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to give you the quickest, dirtiest method to even thinking that you know about boogie-woogie. And that is that left hand. And then what I was, with that simple voicing, it's nice to maybe just mark out the beginning. And then once you've got that independence, because you're going to be like, crikey, that's hard. There's such little reward for me in boogie-woogie. It's so hard, and people are like, yeah, it sounds like boogie-woogie. And like, it's freaking so difficult, right? So give that a go and just try keeping time and see if it feels like boogie-woogie. And if you're feeling all right then start trying to just get in the gaps with that voicing. Little chromaticisms, work on that. And maybe then flesh out the chords a bit. This is my favorite 13 voicing. I'll teach it really quickly. Miss out the root. Put your thumb on the 7, which is B flat in this case. First finger on D. Middle finger on E. And pinky on A. B flat, D, E, A. And you start seeing, oh, now I'm doing those boogie-woogie. And that is a world of listening and learning boogie-woogie licks. If you want me to teach you some of these licks, let me know. But I'd suggest let me go free, and concentrate on the left hand. The whole time I've been doing the same rinky-dink left hand, which is this, as we learned in the beginning. C and G go into this, and then using our thumb to play 2 beats on each. Because there's, you know, that kind of like jivey boogie, or which is the hardest, and it's so hard because single note boogie-woogie has to be so on the money, and it's the hardest in terms of independence. So hats off to those guys, but I'm trying to teach you how to blag it, and there's something about the solidity of that rhythm, which is enough if you want to just get people moving on your own. This is the easiest way to do it. So I know I'm not covering all the Jules Holland crazy. Those guys, and just so you know, they are spending years of their life on TikTok making sure that this left hand can do it, because that's their shtick. I hate to throw it out there, a lot of these guys, that's their shtick, and it's an amazing thing. It's a real party trick, so don't beat yourself up. If you want to go down the boogie-woogie route, you'll quickly move past what I've just taught you, but be prepared for a lot of work, because I chickened out big time, all right? I hope that made sense. So just to recap it again. All that jazz. Moving it to other keys, all you've got to think about is the intervals, right? And I can't do a whole lesson on that now because I'm trying to keep these short. I don't want to ramble on too much. But for example, let's do it in G, like that Jules Holland lick. Up to the 4 chord, which is C. Now, also, don't beat yourself up when you do weird keys like E. It's a lot harder. So don't play in those, right? Start off with the easy ones. C, F, G, they all feel the same. Actually, they don't, I lie. C and G feel the same. So work with C and G first. And don't beat yourself up, like I said. This takes a lot of drilling. I'm telling you, all right? I hope that gave you an insight into... Thanks so much for watching the other video. It's hard trying to get these across in a really succinct way. I hope that helped you at least pretend that you know boogie-woogie, a bit like me when I have to. Thanks for watching.